We're going live.
Hey everyone, I'm Jody Schwan, the founder and publisher of Sioux Falls Business. Welcome to another edition of Talent Thursday. We enjoy these conversations with our friends at the Development Foundation and our changing lineup of guests. We have a great one today, someone I've known for a long time at a business that is just doing great things and knocking it out of the park. So I'm excited to catch up. Denise Gazzetta from the Development Foundation, of course, is my co-host today. Hi, Denise.
Hello.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest?
Oh my gosh, I've been so excited since this was scheduled months ago. So it's a pleasure and an honor to introduce Joe Bunkers. I've known Joe for a couple years now and just have loved the company and appreciate everything that they do for our community, but really for the entire concrete kind of area. So welcome, Joe.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
You know, I was just thinking, Joe, for the longest time, people in Sioux Falls knew that Gage name and it was top of mind because many of us drove by it all the time, right? Your old location was on West 12th Street right by the interstate. Now you got to go looking for it. It's a great space for you, but doesn't necessarily put you in front of us quite as much. So it'll be good to catch up on how things are going. First of all, I know our business audience would love to hear that. What kind of a year are you having? And then, of course, by extension, what does that mean for your workforce needs?
Yeah, so our year this year has been really solid. I mean, clearly everyone who drives around this town knows that there's a lot going on in Sioux Falls. And while some of our neighboring big cities like Minneapolis aren't as fortunate, really South Dakota and the region around us is still thriving. So we've had a full year. We did intentionally take a step back earlier this year, Jody and Denise, and just said we're going to focus on doing really well at what we do and not forcing as many yards through as we can. So we've been able to keep the workforce very busy, really focus on building talent and building the skills here at the new plant, kind of a reset coming out of COVID and preparing for the future. So we've had a very good year and a very intentional year.
You know, of course, those of us here in Sioux Falls, we know Gage Brothers is a long time business in our community, but we also have a number of students that watch these conversations who may not know a whole lot about Gage. So can you just share with them what you're all about and what the company does?
Yeah, absolutely. So at our core, our core focus is we build the communities where we live, work, and play. And the clear and obvious part of that is we build concrete building products and ship them all across the region to construct the literal places where we live, work, and play. I love to talk about Jefferson High School. My son's a freshman down there right now. We're over there, and we built a big part of that school. My daughter's at USD, and there's buildings all over that campus, and the campus up at SDSU. All of their newer dorm housing is Gage Brothers precast products that we shipped up there and set up. But also the hospitals in town. Both hospitals are very good clients. We build the places where our families begin and where our families end. And it's just great to be part of that. But I really love to focus also on building the community of people. And to us, that starts at Gage Brothers. We are a family-focused business. We make decisions based on what's going to help our employees be part of their family and our family. I know 100 years ago when this business started, it was work first. And if you had some time for family, that's what you did. We've really intentionally created a different scenario here where we want you to be part of family. Just instituted a maternity leave, not just for the women, but we also want the man to be able to go spend some time with the new baby. And it's just, we're embracing that. So we're building those communities inside and outside of where we're at. But at our core, we make concrete and ship it and set it up.
And make beautiful concrete. Strong, reliable, durable, beautiful concrete. So
yeah.
Denise, what stands out to you about Gage Brothers as you've worked with this company and learned more about them?
Oh my gosh. So I was introduced to Gage Brothers in my former life, and what I found very quickly was just so encouraging and embracing. I was somebody out of the financial industry that was then tasked to run new technologies for a very large chemical provider and quickly had to rely on the ecosystem around to just learn. And so it was very, I think, nice to build a relationship with Gage. Brought me in. I got to see your new facility when it was being built. And just learned from some of your engineers and just really just loved it. And so, you know, the things that stand out to me, company culture, very high touch, beautiful products, but done by really incredible people. And that's what's really nice. And you don't really hear a lot of times where people are talking about the construction industry. They're talking about the places that we live and where we work and where our kids are housed. But I learned so much about precast and really this wonderful industry, and just Gage Brothers and just their philanthropic side, but also their commitment to community, commitment to people like me and helping me in my journey. Just wonderful. So,
you know, I remember Gage Brothers was talking about culture when not a lot of businesses were talking about
right.
culture, right? I mean, I think
Right.
you've always been a leader there, Joe. And of course, culture is something that's always evolving, right? So how would you describe that at Gage today?
You know, again, I go back to family. Our core values, we actually speak about family. The one is take ownership. And one of our subdivisions under that take ownership core value is we want you to bring your true self to work every day. And, you know, that truly is about race and gender and identity and who you are. And we want you to bring that. But it also means that we want to treat each other like family, even on the days when being family isn't the easiest at work, right? So we really keep focusing on, you know, how do we create policies? And I hate that word because it sounds like we box people in when you make a policy, but how do we create policies in an overarching way of looking at how we make decisions that embraces us as a family, as family units, as a big family together, and part of the Sioux Falls kind of overall family that we're at. So literally it's top of mind for us every single day. Every time we make a decision, it's thinking about how does this impact our employee? How does this allow our employees to you know, thrive and grow and continue to do what they want to do, not just make Gage Brothers, you know, produce more concrete.
Right. In a business of this size, you know, there are a lot of roles. I mean, obviously there are those roles that are directly working with your concrete process, but there are a lot of other support positions and leadership positions and things like that. What kind of available positions do you have, and what are some of the paths that people are taking to reach Gage Brothers?
Yeah, so we have we're always looking for some strong engineers. SDSU has been a great hotbed of recruitment for us. So we have a lot of blue and yellow flying in our office during the football season for sure. But also just in project management. So we have engineers, project managers, executive leadership, and really we'd like to kind of promote from within, kind of through the plant, and grow people up. We do have some entry-level positions available as well. I have to say though, just if I'm being honest, we're pretty full of employees right now. We've really seen a great retention rate over the last year. It's improved dramatically. So while we have a few positions open, we're certainly not in a begging seat right now. We're in good
That's
shape.
good. That's what we like to hear, though.
Yeah.
You know, that some of those strategies that you talked about clearly are effective. How about students? Are there ways that students can connect with you, you know, while they're still in school, whether it's high school, whether it's college, tech school?
Yeah, so up at SCSU, we did a few years ago sponsor an architectural studio. Donated not just the dollars, but also our time to go up and do some education. So we're still involved with the architectural program up there. We like to be involved with the engineering department as well. We actually have the faculty coming down here middle of December just to do another plant tour and talk about how do we continue to get engaged. From a student population, we're easy to find, gagebrothers.com. There's a lot of ways to connect with either individual people on there. We love to make ourselves pretty accessible, or you can call us, Google us. Right, there's just a lot of ways to find Gage Brothers, and you can always just reach out and have a conversation with me. It's one of my favorite things is to talk to students and people interested in this industry or Sioux Falls or the area or anything, and just kind of welcome and see what they're interested in.
Yeah, Denise, you've connected a lot of students, haven't you, to Gage Brothers?
Absolutely. I mean, we've done a lot of programming through the years in the middle schools and the high schools, the college students. I mean, we have, I think one of the most exciting things that the YPN group that I hear from a lot of the members is going through the tours of Gage Brothers.
Yep.
And it's the people. It's all about the people. And so I just know that, you know, the kids that we brought in, and we did the Your Future. Gage Brothers was one of our founding partners in the Your Future STEM, bringing that into middle schools and talking about chemical construction and talking about really and relating that to, this is why you need to pay attention to math and continue to develop, because you get to go do really cool things. And then continuing on with those high school students that we have in our Career Connections program, and just again, the college and then the young professionals. Yeah, just so much stuff. And Gage Brothers is really just engaged.
And I
To
mean,
say
I
it
know we've been talking up this
politically.
facility, but you know, you can't underestimate the work environment. And I will just tell you, I mean,
Right.
it is a beautiful office for those who are in office jobs, but the production space is just so, you know, intentionally
Amazing.
designed to create the kind of work environment, you know, that's going to support the kind of retention, people staying with the company that Joe talked about.
Yeah, very much. When we did design this, we talked a lot about how do we make it, you can't take the work out of pouring concrete. I mean, it's heavy, it's big, you know, but we can create a lot of processes and systems that take just the brute labor out of it and open up our work to more people. Whether it's females, I'm proud to say we're about 15% females in our plant right now, which is just
I
Awesome.
love that.
huge increase
Yes.
a few years back. And it's just, we actually are seeing them now getting promoted up through our leadership positions. Just had Jackie take over our steel shop supervisor. So it's just awesome to see
Phenomenal.
what this change, I point behind me, that's where the plant's at, but what that new plant has allowed us to do to create a culture and a physical space where anybody can come work.
I just feel like that's got to be such a standout in your industry to say that you're 15% female.
It is. I've toured plants all over the country, actually all over the world, and you just don't see women in precast plants. And part of that is the old mantra, women can't do it, but you also have to have a culture where it's okay,
Right.
where we just like,
Yeah.
I don't care. Come on, if you're willing to do some work and you know, come and participate with us and be part of our family, we have a spot.
Yeah, fantastic.
And I
Love to
love
hear
that.
some of them. I may have to add that to the list, Joe.
I
So
know. We
stay
do,
tuned, right?
because we remember we've talked about, you know, some of our things with newcomers. We have a lot of newcomers
Yes.
here, and we've seen some newcomers coming in for Gage Brothers, but we also have a lot of people that when we are lifting up the construction industry, we're talking about the change. And we're also talking about the comparison back to 2008, you know, 2010 with a lot of loss. And,
Yeah.
you know, now that we're in this workforce and we're realizing, you know, really there's no barriers anymore. It is really company culture. And do you have a company where it's going to be a training and very open environment for people to get engaged in maybe a second career or third career? And that's really awesome, because I do think when you look at the numbers and you look at how strong women are in the workforce, that's a really good strategy, just to make sure that you continue that learning and fostering and developing, nurturing environment, because that's what a lot of women crave, right? So
Yeah, wonderful. I realize there are not a lot of opportunities today. I appreciate the open door approach, Joan, just saying, hey, reach out, talk to us, you know, take a tour, have a meeting. What would be the best way for somebody who's saying, yeah, I'd love to learn more about this company. Maybe I can see myself working there. What do I need to do to position myself to be the kind of employee you want to hire? You know, what would you suggest to those people? How should they reach out?
So Jody, I've always been an in-person kind of guy, and I understand most people aren't going to drive out here to just drop in, knock on a door, and say, "Hey, am I the one?" But I would recommend jump to our website. We have an apply here, an inquiry page. You can always connect that way. Pick up the phone and call. Our HR department is Cassie and Krista down there, just fantastic at connecting with people. We have Yanesis in there, 100% bilingual. You know, we are about 75% Hispanic in our plant, so we're bilingual in everything that we do. You know, so don't feel like there's a barrier. We love to open up to the conversations and just get to know people. And if it's a great fit, you know, that's awesome. And if not, maybe we can help you find something else, or maybe we can help you build some skills so you can do something else.
Yeah, I love it. So good to hear that things are still going well. And that's another benefit, frankly, to being in Sioux Falls, right? Where we have that steady, consistent growth that's going to keep places like Gage busy. Employers are going to know, employees are going to know that they have that stability in their job, in addition to the good work environment that you've created.
Absolutely.
And be part of a community, right? We think about the intersection between community, career, and cause, right? Which is important. And you do find that philanthropic side is pretty much embedded in everyone that we see come here and stay here. And one of the reasons why. So.
Yeah, and you talk about the philanthropic side, and we've, I don't know if you guys have heard about how we do our giving program at Gage Brothers now, but we've actually created a system here where our employees get to direct their dollars. So instead of the boardroom deciding the 4, 2, or whatever, we're going to support, we really let our employees say, we want our dollars to go here. And then we match their dollars to where it matters to them. And our giving has skyrocketed as a employee force since we started doing that a couple years ago.
No, that's huge. I love it. But again, it's just one more point, right? That illustrates that really employee-centric culture that you've created. So again, Joe Bunkers, Gage Brothers, if you're just joining us, terrific company in the Sioux Falls community. And we encourage you to reach out, get connected. They're going to have opportunities. I know they'll keep growing. So any final thoughts from either one of you?
No, I say anyone watching, if you're in Sioux Falls, you know what we're all about in this town and in this area. If you're not in Sioux Falls, you're missing out. I've been here, Jody, for 24 years. I met a girl and moved down here, and it's just been a fantastic place for my career development, for my kids to go through school, for a community that's big enough to attract things, but not so big that you get lost. So if you're listening from outside of Sioux Falls, you're missing out. Come join us.
I echo that. Perfect.
Denise, another great guest. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching, everybody. Again, get connected to Gage Brothers. Visit their website. If you have any questions, comment below. We'll help you out. Otherwise, stay tuned for future editions of Talent Thursday. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.
Bye.